they liked New York because you guys those guys over there were illegal.
That's better.
But when it was legalized in New York, it didn't quite. They did not have a rollout that was smooth for legalizing the sale of the product, and to the gray market where it's legal, but you can't really enforce the rules and you can't really figure out how to sell it. It's the perfect place to come in and be a drug dealer.
All right. That was another question I had, just to make sure this is all clocking to me, because you're mentioning that now a lot of these same houses with the same people are applying for the legal side of it. When they build it off books illegally and they have all the money coming in, who are all their end customers? Strictly black market? Are they selling it into the green market? Like pun intended there.
Yeah.
What does that part look like, the cash flow?
Yeah. So initially they would use some of the licensed growers as conduits to funnel the illegally grown marijuana into the legal markets.
Oh, like money laundering,
yes.
Marijuana laundering.
Just like money laundering.
Wow.
But this was based on a quirk of Maine's marijuana program. So we have an adult use recreational program, which has track and trace and mandated testing and some more rules. The medicinal marijuana program is more, I guess, libertarian. There's less government oversight. And so you would have them come into the medicinal side with just a few people who manage to hang on to their licenses. And if you've got the license and a charismatic salesperson who's part of your criminal network, they can go around to all the illegal places and grab trash bags full of weed and then go to the medical dispensaries in the state and say, hey, I can wholesale you some pot. And it's all through my license. This is all legit. And so the dispensary owner has plausible deniability that they're selling an illegal product. They don't have to test it for pesticides, fungicides, anything like that. And the price is right, because this guy doesn't want you asking too many questions about where this weed comes from, because it all looks different. It's all different kinds of baggies. And, he's an out-of-stater. They don't want you asking questions. So it's going to be about 50% off the market rate. And people took him up on that deal. It's COVID, economic uncertainty. You're trying to put food on the table, very competitive, growing industry.
When you can do it at scale, you can take advantage of that.
Yeah. So there were medicinal store operators throughout the state who took advantage of it, paid cash. That cash gets plowed back into real estate deals for more, houses that later become marijuana grows. But later,
and they're buying the houses in cash.
Yes, that's actually a key part of how the money laundering happens. Is through the real estate and through real estate attorneys.
Real estate attorneys. Can you explain that part?
Yeah. So just
meaning they're complicit.
Just to finish the earlier thread first though. Now the final sale point is mostly out of state. The last time the Attorney General's office testified about this, they estimated like 2/3 out of state, 1/3 in state, which accorded with what I had come to believe based on reporting. But they're bringing it out of state, trafficking it all over the eastern United States, primarily to prohibition states, so that they can sell it at head shops, tobacco shops, convenience stores, and they're using the hemp loophole for intoxicating hemp products to do that. So they're growing in Maine. Their activities in Maine, a lot of their money laundering is in Massachusetts, but their sale point is throughout the eastern United States, including New York for a while, before you guys really figured out how to
You're in Jersey.
Oh, sorry. That's all the same to me.
Hey, relax, Boston. I don't like that. You were doing well until then.
Well, they liked New York because you guys those guys over there were illegal.
That's better.
But when it was legalized in New York, it didn't quite, they did not have a rollout that was smooth for legalizing the sale of the product. And to the gray market where it's legal, but you can't really enforce the rules and you can't really figure out how to sell it. It's the perfect place to come in and be a drug dealer. You're not going to get arrested, and you get all the cheap pot from Maine. So you fill up your U-Haul or your Sprinter van and you drive it from Maine down to New York, and you're selling hotcakes.
Good business decision.
Yeah. But the money laundering is, there's a bunch of different money laundering techniques, but the one that I think is pertinent here is called seasoning the money. You have money seasoners. The practice is called seasoning the money.
Right.
Your money seasoner is an attorney with flexible morals.
Saul Goodman.
Yes,
Right.
That's exactly. I mean, anyone who's seen like Weeds or Breaking Bad or The Sopranos knows what money laundering is. But that's exactly it. The practice of it. The reason why seasoning the money works is because, okay, I've got a briefcase with $250,000 in it, and it's all marijuana money. It's dirty money. I want to reinvest this into real estate. If I bring my briefcase full of cash to the owners of that property and try to trade it with them, they're going to bring it to their bank immediately and say, "Oh, I got this from Julian. He was trying to buy a house," and the bank's going to file a suspicious transaction report that includes you, and the IRS is going to come to you looking for, did you pay taxes on that? Where'd that money come from? We're curious. So the goal of all money laundering is to avoid paying taxes and avoid law enforcement finding out what you're doing. So. But if you bring that briefcase full of cash to your real estate agent, you're going to have the same problem. Eventually, that money is going to touch some law-abiding financial rail, some payment system, some bank, some part of the financial system where a suspicious transaction report is going to be filed, and Treasury is going to figure out about it, and it's not going to end well for you. So to avoid that, you bring that briefcase full of cash to your lawyer, and you ask your lawyer to place it in his trust account. So all lawyers have trust accounts where money that they're holding for clients as part of their retainers, or for any reason, funds held in escrow for any reason whatsoever, is all in this trust account. The trust accounts generate interest, and in most states, the interest off of that fund is used. I don't know, the state puts it towards some pro-social cause, whatever. But the trust account can also work like a checking account. You can have a bank check drawn on the trust account. So after I've deposited my briefcase with $250,000 in it, I go to my lawyer and I say, "Can you make out a bank check that draws on your trust account to redrealtor.com and make it out for 230, and you can keep 20,000." And you take that bank check and bring it to your realtor, and your realtor's like, "Excellent. I know this one's going to cash," and no one has to file a suspicious transaction report.
Why not?
Because it's the relationship between the client and the attorney is protected by attorney-client privilege.
But even on the other end, you don't have to look at that as suspicious if you're outside that relationship?
Nope. It's a bank check from a lawyer. It's clean. And that money becomes real estate, and you generate additional revenue from operating it as an illegal marijuana grow. And when the jig is up, you just sell the real estate, and then you got clean cash because you could just tell the bank, "Well, this is for proceeds of a real estate sale."
This is the really, really shitty thing, Steve. It's like, I love having freedom, right? I love our system. Our system give me it 1,000 times out of 100 over like a China or something like that, or communism, of course. What sucks sometimes, though, is that totalitarian places like that, because we are talking about that in this case, that these are the people on the ground, and that's who they're reporting to in all likelihood, like, they can use our system against us.
Yeah.
To move it, to turn it in on itself. And like we've a million times on the show, I was talking with you about this even before we started the podcast. Like the high level example would have been like the TikTok thing, because they're communists and control speech. One benefit of that is that their 8-year-olds don't have TikTok after 8 p.m. And before they have nature videos and fucking math videos.
Their 8-year-olds aren't trying to cut their dicks off because they saw some videos.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ours are sitting there at 12 a.m. in bed watching titty videos.
Yeah,
and
I think
stuff.
I'm a pangender unicorn.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like what you're talking about here, obviously entirely different context. But it's the same kind of thing.
It's the same thing.
That would never fly in China. Fucking real estate. Some attorney writing out a check for a real estate deal. They'd be like, throw that motherfucker in with the Uyghurs. Thank you guys for checking out this clip. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the like button on this video. It is a huge, huge help. And if you'd like to check out this clip's full podcast episode, that link is in the description below or right here. And finally, you can follow me on Instagram and X by using the links in my description below.